Okay, I was your bigger enemy.
To be offended or frightened of everything.
So you've become like the sort of Tony Scarface of podcasting.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the morning show. So happy to be here. So happy to see all of you wonderful people. We are back.
Why do you sound like a hostage? So happy.
So
happy.
So happy.
So you're fucking happy.
We're all back, guys. We're all back. It was we were gone for a while. Things were a little upside down for the last couple of weeks. It's okay. We were here, and glad to be back, and glad to have everyone back in the studio. Head on over to this YouTube page, the Pantelis Comedy YouTube page. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and then head on over to patreon.com/Pantelis. Find yourself a plan that suits your needs and get yourself that exclusive content that is being pumped out of that channel. Poseidon, late yet again, can be reached
Okay, bro, I haven't been late.
Poseidon.com, the Poseidon69 on all social media platforms. Before me, ladies and gentlemen, is the man, the myth, the legend, Ted Bird.
I took the day off from Jihad summer camp to be here.
Shit.
No, yeah,
I haven't yet sent my application.
I was going to get my child bride merit badge today, and instead here I am.
We're gonna get to that. Some crazy shit happening in Montreal. Don't know if you guys are aware. Today was the season finale of Standing by the Terry and Ted podcast. Head on over there if you haven't listened to the show yet. 7-8 episodes. How many did you do this? 10 episodes. Wonderful episodes. Great guests as always, and they'll be recording very soon. For the next episode.
We're
for
on
the next
summer
season.
hiatus because I am at Jihad summer camp after all, so I don't have time to be doing anything as mundane as podcasting. This is taking over the fucking world, man.
But you come back in September, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you have it. Some surprises also. We can't get into that now, but
Guess I'll be a woman.
Yeah, there you have it. Ted's coming
Tedrika.
back.
Terry and Tedrika.
Theodora. Anything else? Any other plugs that we have to do?
Oh yeah, go on the Patreon. By the way, there's we did 2 bonus tapes back to back, and for the second one, I was a little bit off my meds, and I went on this weird rant about dimensions and stuff. So if you want to go take a listen to that. Also, I was trying to teach Adam how to fight, and the video is exclusive to Patreon only. If you want to go see that, it's a bunch of nonsense. Enjoy.
Meds are overrated.
Yeah, eh?
You got to be who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck the meds.
I agree with you.
If you're
Ted.
bug fuck crazy, you're bug fuck crazy. Run with it.
Double down. Fuck it. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Because here's the thing. I've made peace with the fact that I'm a lunatic.
Yeah.
I made peace with this towards the end of the pandemic. I said, you know what? I'm a lunatic. It is what it is. I'm gonna try and be happy.
I am who I am.
I am who I am. I'm
That's
gonna
it.
try and live my life and be happy. And you know what? I'm just gonna try and not hurt people. I'm not gonna listen to the voices. That's it.
Were you listening to a lot of voices? Yeah.
Did you get in any trouble on your vacation? I wasn't here last week, and I understand you talked about your vacation. You recapped the Italy
Yeah,
trip.
yeah, yeah.
Did you get in any trouble, or were you good?
Like, what do you mean by trouble?
I don't know. Were there any unsavory events?
The classic Poseidon shit that you get in.
Honestly, no. It went pretty smoothly. Just the French tourists and I didn't get along at all.
Okay.
The
And
Brits.
this was in Italy?
This was in Italy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
The Brits and the Australians loved me.
Yeah.
Because they spoke English as well.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, but you speak French.
Yeah, French as well. Yeah, but the French are pretentious cocksuckers that think they own the entire planet.
Really, eh?
Yeah. They think that you have to worship the ground they walk on. They kept bumping into me. Even though I was trying to be considerate and make space. And
Well, you do take a lot of room, though.
regardless, I'm still human at the end of the day. A crazy human, but barely human nonetheless.
I like the French. I've never had a problem with I like France. I like traveling to France. I've been to many different parts of France, and I really like it. And they seem to like me, but I think it's because my my French is really, really bad. And with the heavy anglicized accent, they think that I'm an American who can speak a little bit of French, so they find that kind of charming or whatever.
Maybe.
Also, I go out into the French countryside. I prefer that to Paris, to the big city.
Yeah.
You probably meet more chill, laid-back people in the country.
Yeah, or the south of France.
Yeah. Well, there's the southeast of France where nobody ever goes, like inland from Bordeaux, the wine region, and the Périgord and the Dordogne River Valley. It's beautiful.
Really?
Beautiful. And it's not overrun with tourists like the southwest of France is, the Riviera, Nice and Saint-Tropez,
Makes sense.
Cannes, and all that. Yeah.
Tuscany felt like you were in a fever dream.
Really, eh? It's
Yeah.
like being in a book?
Yeah, it's like it's not real almost. You feel like a vampire is gonna come out of nowhere and give you a quest at some point. That's how it felt.
But in a good way?
In a good way. Yeah. No, it was gorgeous. What was fascinating to me is there was plots of land that were tended to, and there was no purpose for them. It was just beautiful. It was just there because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like we don't have that. I feel like we don't have that in North America where we
Right.
take care of land just because it's pretty.
Yeah.
It has to have a function.
How was the food and the wine?
Amazing.
Are you willing to acknowledge that it's better than Greek food and wine?
No, absolutely the fuck not. I will not. I have to say,
Well, maybe the wine. Food, I
maybe
don't
the
know,
wine.
man.
The food
it's
is not
different.
better. No.
It's different, right?
Because Italians, they realize what they're good at and they stick to it.
Yeah.
Right? Basic salads, pasta, pizzas, some meats here and there.
I'm sure it's still good, though. It was still
No,
good.
no,
You didn't-
it
you
was
didn't eat
amazing.
bad,
No,
yeah.
it was amazing, bro. But
When I was in Sicily, everybody supper time, like dinner time, was 9:30 at night. It
Yeah.
was like that where you
Yeah.
were as well. Fuck, they eat late.
yes, they eat late, 100%. And we found a secret hack to get into all the restaurants before everyone.
Oh, yeah?
Just show up at 6 p.m.
When we eat here,
Yeah, show up at 6 p.m. and you're getting in. You're gonna find the seat that you want, everything, and then all of a sudden we're eating, and then it starts getting jammed, and we're like, nice.
Yeah. I'm glad you had a good time. First time in Italy?
Yeah, first time.
Yeah.
Have you been to Italy?
Yes.
Yeah. Eh?
Yeah, I've been to Italy once, I believe, and Sicily twice.
Oh, yeah, you just mentioned Sicily.
Yeah, the military remembrance tour that I do social media for. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was very nice. Although one thing I noticed about Sicily, and I didn't really notice this in mainland Italy, a lot of garbage on the side of the road.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of litter. A lot of litter.
Really?
I guess that's an infrastructure and government service problem that they haven't figured out yet.
Apparently, Napoli has the same problem because
Yeah.
Rome didn't have that issue. Florence, any other city I went to didn't have that issue. It just seems like the more south you go, the more they give up. It feels like.
Yeah, and it was surprising and disappointing.
Yeah.
You know, especially for an industrialized first world country.
Yeah.
You know, to see that kind of it was prominent. A lot of garbage on the side of the road. I guess people just go to the villages take their garbage out of the villages and throw
It's
it.
also
outside of the
municipal
road.
service there as well, right? And
Yeah.
I experienced a similar thing in Greece where normally it's super clean everywhere, but then there were times where they were on strike and they just didn't give a fuck. They just didn't
Yeah.
pick up the garbage. Like, fuck off. We're not picking up the garbage. You know? Yeah. Nice. How are you, Ted?
I'm good.
We haven't seen you in a while.
No, why is that now? Last week I was in Toronto for my son's graduation.
Yeah, the week before, I think I couldn't come in because I was fixing up my condo, and then the week before, I think Pantelis couldn't come in to produce. And then the week before that, I think I came in and you couldn't, or something happened. And
Always an excuse.
It was a busy July.
But here we are.
Yeah.
We made it with our lime green and pink microphones.
Was it customary for your son to choose his gender at the end of the graduation?
No, but there was a lot of, I was telling George on the way here today, there was, and Sam warned me of this in advance. I said, do you think he graduated from Toronto Metropolitan University, formerly Ryerson, but they had to rename it because Ryerson was a slave owner, don't you know?
Right.
No way.
Yeah, so
He was a cool dude.
Well, he was a dude of his time. So I said to Sam, do you think there's going to be any, free Palestine, fuck Israel stuff going on? And he goes, Dad, you know where I go to school. Of course there is. And sure enough, there was.
Yeah.
Graduates accepting their certificate and then waving the Palestine flag as they cross the stage, or yelling "Free Palestine," or
Were there any
end of the
Jews,
genocide.
though?
Yeah, there were Jewish people there, but they don't.
No Israel flag?
Yeah, there was none of that. And I said, I was sitting with my ex-wife, Sam's mom, and I said, tell me when I should yell, I'm Israel Chai. She said, shut the fuck up, Ted.
Yeah.
But, that's the world we live in today. Like I was prepared to be pissed off about it, but in the actual moment, I was like, well, what are you going to do?
You're not there for
What
that.
are you going to do?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here to support my son.
Exactly.
I'm proud of my son for graduating. One girl actually smeared, I don't know if it was actual blood or just red dye or whatever, to symbolize blood on the TMU
stage.
logo on the stage.
I think they should revoke their fucking diplomas.
Well, how about the girl who spit on the dean at
McGill.
McGill University? Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, she spit on the dean.
Yeah, it depends what you read, because some say that she simulated the spit. Like, she didn't really spit. She just went poo,
Well, either way, it was
whatever it is.
was
It's
uncalled for and
disrespectful.
inappropriate and disrespectful.
You have your opinion, that's fine. You can voice it. Evidently you've taken over the fucking campus there, so go outside and do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But this is a ceremony. This is your diploma. This is your graduation ceremony. Respect it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That woman was also widely identified on social media too, and that's not going
Who,
to
the
serve
one
her.
at McGill?
The one at
or-
McGill, yeah. That's
for
not
sure.
going to serve her well when
Absolutely
she
not.
tries to get into the job market.
No. And I think that there should be stricter rules, and if you act like an imbecile, fuck off. We'll revoke your diploma. Spitting on the dean. What the fuck? What's wrong with you? Because of what's happening in Palestine, in Israel.
Yeah.
Was he even Jewish, the guy, or Israeli? Like,
No, the dean of
dean?
McGill is
I
not
don't
Jewish.
think so.
He's
What's
Indian, I think.
Yeah.
No,
that's the president of McGill.
was the president.
Yeah.
Okay.
what's the point? I don't understand.
It's a virtue signal, and the videos I saw on social media, she got substantial amount of applause from the crowd when she did it.
Yeah. Look, here's where I stand. You're in university. This is the place where you need to explore, develop your point of views, and
Be open to alternative points of view and debate them.
Yeah, that's important as well. But you want to take a stand on whatever position, go ahead. I have no issues with that. But it comes
I have
back,
issues with kill all the Jews. I have issues
of
with
course.
that.
Look, we're not gonna talk about the point where it gets to violence and to inciting hatred and all that stuff. But you wanna be pro-Palestinian, do that. Find your arguments, do whatever the fuck you want to do. But show some respect. Like, this is where I disconnect. I disconnect where you're taking the positions that you're taking, but at the same time, you're being hateful and disrespectful instead of just coming out and saying, I believe X, Y, Z, and whatever. I'm for or against whatever's happening. Do that. 100%. Fucking do it. I don't care. This is the place, this is the time for you to do that, right? But seeing the things deteriorate the way they have, and I think right before the McGill ceremony, they had taken over some building. The cops actually went in and beat the shit out of them.
Nice.
Well, I don't know if they beat the shit out of them.
Yeah,
but they broke it up.
Yeah,
The cops
they pepper
broke it
sprayed a
up. They
couple of them,
forcefully
yeah.
broke it up.
So I think it's gotten to a point where now it needs to stop. And I mean, you saw that. I mean, we were joking about the summer camp program. but it's worrying.
Yeah,
It's worrying.
I sent you a picture, Poseidon, on email if you want to. If you want to put that
and that
up.
was in our text message.
I thought it was a
You know who I blame?
the Jews,
The gays.
the gays.
It's one or the other.
Ever since they joined forces with Palestine, Queers for Palestine. Yeah. All this disrespectful shit has been happening to random people that have nothing to do with it.
Speaking of, we're going to get back to this thing because it's really serious. But speaking of Queers for Palestine, we're in Pride Month, and there was a parade, I think, in the U.S. where the Pride Parade met with the Free
It was
Palestine
in Philadelphia.
in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And all hell broke loose.
And there was a confrontation, and I never understood the context of the confrontation.
Because the people that are on the Free Palestine side, they were judgmental towards the others because they thought that they didn't have a right to celebrate so long as Palestinians were suffering.
Oh, okay.
Why should you be happy if this is happening in the world?
Well, that's stupid.
Of course.
We're allowed to be happy
Yeah.
on our own time.
No, not in their point of view.
So Poseidon has put this up on the screen. I thought this was a parody when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is real.
Yeah, the Youth Summer Program. It launched this week on the 17th of June as part of the McGill Pro-Palestinian Encampment. This is on the...
Well, I mean, it's not, there's no youth program. This was done as okay, now it's the summer program.
Yeah.
Let's initiate our youth summer program. But what they chose is a really highly militarized concept.
Yeah,
over
I mean,
here,
look
right?
at the picture. There are, there's a guy front and center there with an AK-47 from the looks of things. And what they say is, and this is from SPHR, something Palestinian Human Rights McGill. In response to the transnational student call out to revolt for Rafah, the Gaza Solidarity Encampment at McGill is launching the Revolutionary Youth Summer Program. We pledge to educate the youth of Montreal and redefine McGill's elite institutional legacy by transforming its space into one of revolutionary education. The daily schedule will include physical activity, Arabic language instruction, cultural crafts, political discussions, historical and revolutionary lessons. It sounds like Hitler Youth Camp without the shorts and lederhosen.
Yeah.
Yeah, this generation is cooked, bro.
No, but I mean, the minute this thing came out, they should have cleared the fucking camp. I mean, do you need any more evidence about what is happening on the grounds?
Yeah.
Were we not tolerant enough? Do something about it. And now you have politicians that, from all parties, federal, and municipal, and provincial, that called this out and that are calling the Montreal administration to take action, more specifically the police. The mayor of Montreal is completely absent on this file. Completely absent.
She's busy shutting down the terraces.
What a fucking idiot. Another shit show. I want to talk about that with you. We spoke about that a little bit with Poseidon last week. But yeah, she's completely absent. She threw the entire thing on the backs of the police and said, look, this is their responsibility. Our main purpose is for this thing to be settled peacefully so that nobody gets hurt in the process. I'm thinking, move in there and kick fucking ass and get them the fuck out. That's my approach.
Yeah.
Montrealers don't want that. You know what Montrealers want? Montrealers want peace and fucking quiet. And you have these fucking morons doing this shit in the streets. That's what I don't want.
Yeah, it's pretty bad in Toronto as well. I mentioned what I saw at the convocation ceremony at TMU. There was also that same week in Toronto, some pro-Palestinian demonstrators went into a Jewish neighborhood, a Jewish residential neighborhood up around Bathurst and Shepherd, which would be akin to going into Côte St. Luc or Hampstead.
Right.
And openly and aggressively being hostile to people who are walking their dogs, calling them baby killers and genocide supporters. I'm walking my fucking dog, man.
What are you getting out of this? This has been my big question from the very beginning. What difference is it going to make in that conflict in that particular region of the world if you do whatever the fuck you're doing in the streets of Montreal or Toronto?
Well, I think that they're flat out anti-Semites. They're Jew haters, and this is an excuse
To express
to be
it.
openly to
Right.
express it and to be openly hostile. And I can't believe that in the lifetime of some Holocaust survivors,
That we're seeing it again.
yeah, like how must someone feel who's I don't know 90 years old and survived the Holocaust and came out of a camp as a child in 1945, and now they see this kind of expression of hatred towards their community happening again. You know, my ex-wife Danielle grew up in Hampstead. She's not Jewish, but she grew up in Hampstead, and she told me a couple of days after October 7th, she said, my friends are scared. Like they're scared.
Yeah.
You know, they're rattled. You know, she has a friend whose last name is Israel, and she doesn't use her last name. And she tells her kids, you know, if someone asks you your last name, give daddy's last name, which is still a very Jewish last name. But just, you know, the name Israel is poking the bear, you know, depending on.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Like, did we not fucking learn anything from history?
It's not that, Ted. It's just that what is it going to take for people to wake the fuck up and actually do something? We're seeing these cases in Montreal, and this happens on almost on a weekly basis, where Jewish schools are being shot at. Right? It happened again last week. I think I can't remember which school it was. What is it going to take? What happens if on one of those occasions you kill a child? You know, like someone gets really hurt or dies even.
Unfortunately, I think all that's going to do is escalate it. So I don't know what it's going to take. What it requires is for people, level-headed people, to sit down and say, okay, let's figure this out. And I don't see any of those people right now. All I see are people on two extremes.
It is so easy for the Montreal administration to resolve this problem, and it was kind of like a light bulb moment for me when students attempted to take over the grounds of the Laval University in Quebec City. It was shut down within half an hour. The reason for that is because there is a municipal bylaw that forbids you from occupying the grounds of the university. You're not allowed. Even if you want to, or if you think it's your right to demonstrate, yeah, you can demonstrate, but you cannot occupy the grounds. It's a municipal bylaw. You can't, sorry. So the cops moved in. They're following the quote unquote law of the municipality of the city. They cleared everyone out. It's fucking legal. Get the fuck out. Nobody said anything. Okay, we're out.
We don't have that bylaw here?
How about you fucking do that? How about you fucking pass a bylaw? Why don't you fucking do that?
Mayor Santrisos, George for mayor.
I don't know about these.
I didn't know. Look, nobody knows these things, right?
Yeah.
But when it happened in Quebec City, I was like, oh, that's fucking interesting.
Yeah.
There's a bylaw that forbids people from occupying grounds, university grounds. Interesting.
And that was it. They shut it down in the end.
It took 45 minutes. The cops went in, get the fuck out. You're not allowed to be here. That's it. Bye. Out.
And did they clear out?
Yeah, everybody left.
Yeah.
Everybody got the fuck out.
There's no confrontation?
There's no confrontation, nothing. Everybody left.
And it was a pro-Palestinian
Yeah, it was the exact same
occupation?
thing. They tried to occupy the campus, just like
Right.
they did over here, like they did in UQAM. So I don't get it. Like, wake up call right there. You see it. Look how effective it was.
Yeah.
Pass a fucking bylaw.
Yeah, but Valerie Plante's not going to do that because she is who she is, right? And just
Like, there's ways you can interfere to give the police a little bit more kind of leeway. I remember back in 2012 with the student demonstrations, Charest passed a law to control the demonstrations. So if you had a group, I think larger than, I can't remember what number, you had to call beforehand, organize it with the authorities, give an itinerary. We're going to start from here. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. We're going to end over there. We're expecting this many people. And you couldn't do it with your face covered.
Me, I don't trust these
People called it extreme, and then I think after 2012, when he lost, they canceled that whole law. But he had no other choice. There were hundreds of thousands of people just breaking shit in Montreal.
I remember this.
Remember that? So it's like, look, you want to fucking demonstrate? No problem. Give your itinerary to the cops. Organize yourselves. The minute that there's a random fucking group of people that decide we're fucking storming the streets and there are over, I think, 20 people or whatever, they would get arrested. They would get cleared right away.
What do you think the deal is with? Sorry, Poseidon, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Me, I don't trust these bylaws. Can't even decide on their sexuality.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to get it.
Comic relief.
Dude, it was eating me alive.
Bylaws. That's BI-LAWS.
It was eating me alive from the inside, man. I had to say it. I'm sorry.
They're open-minded laws.
They're.
What were you saying?
I was going to ask you, what do you think the point is of covering all these demonstrators? Almost every one of them covers their face.
Yeah.
Do you not have the courage of your convictions to show your face?
Exactly. Why? What are you afraid of? You're afraid that your potential new employer might fucking identify you. And are you working? Maybe you're employed now. You don't want people to see who you are. What the fuck are you afraid of?
Well, that says to me you don't have the courage of your convictions.
Or you know that what you're doing is probably wrong.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be identified as an anti-Semite or whatever the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Semite or Semite? Anti-Semite or anti-Semite?
Semite,
yeah. That I never understood that. Show your face, man.
It's got to be fucking hot too, with a keffiyeh wrapped around your head and your face. And weather like this, you kidding me? On another note, Poseidon. All of a sudden, I talk like this now. I was telling George, I took the bus yesterday for the first time in like 35 years.
No way.
Because I'm not supposed to drive for a few months because.
By the way, when is that coming to an end? I mean, you're doing better. Are you waiting for your doctor?
It would have come to an end in July, except I forgot to take my meds for a couple of days in a row. So I had a minor epileptic seizure one night a few weeks ago. And when I had my appointment with the doctor, I thought, it was just minor. Maybe I won't mention it. But then when he asked me, how you doing? I said, well, I had a minor because it's my health, right? Mm-hmm. So I should tell the doctor the truth. Anyway, he said, well, we're going to have to reset the driving thing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so now it's not until November. So anyway, the good news is, because I'm 65 now, I get to ride the bus for free. So I drove my car to the bus station. Don't tell anybody.
So wait, hold on. You just show your ID?
Yeah, I showed her my birth certificate, and she gave me
birth certificate.
My birth certificate. No, my driver's license.
Okay. That's a little extreme, man.
No, but don't you need a pass, like a bus pass? That's
what she gave me. I showed her my birth certificate, my driver's license. $15. She gives me a card. She takes my picture. She gives me an Opus card with my picture on it. And now I can ride the bus and the train for free. She says, it's good for 7 years. I said, do you think I'll still be alive in 7 years? And she said, I think so. Yeah, so I went on the bus yesterday for the first time, literally since I think the 1980s.
Shit.
And, I'm standing at the bus stop and it's like 32 degrees and I'm going, fuck me. The last time I was on the bus, there was no air conditioning on the buses.
Yeah.
They just opened up all the windows. But now the buses are air conditioned. At least the 72 was yesterday. So I took the bus from Point Claire to the Du College Metro, and then down the line to Vendôme, where I met a friend of mine, and it took an hour. It would have taken an hour in rush hour traffic.
Yeah,
in my car
for sure.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have been like this.
And how long?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah, all crammed in.
How long did it take? Sorry,
an hour.
And by bus?
Yeah, bus and metro.
And then how long would it have taken you by car?
Probably the same.
It would depend on the traffic, but probably close to the same. In rush hour, because it was like between 4 and 5 in the afternoon. So to get from Point Claire to downtown in rush hour traffic that could take an hour.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Look,
I'd still choose that over being next to people.
Here's what I found really interesting, and I noticed this on the subway in Toronto last week, because I never, I've been driving for most of the last 40 years, right? So I don't take public transit. Everybody's on their fucking phone.
Yeah.
Everybody's on their phone. Everybody. Me included.
Yeah.
I'm addicted just like anybody else. Everybody's on the subway and on the bus.
But what would you have them do? 30 years ago, everybody was...
Well, the lady sat beside me on the subway yesterday, and she opened a book, and I went to her, what are you, some kind of a weirdo? Where's How's your phone? And she laughed. She got it. She laughed. And I said to her, you know what I'm going to do next time I'm on the bus? I'm going to bring a crossword puzzle.
Yeah.
They'll think, what's this fucking weirdo?
Yeah, everybody's so freaked out. Oh, everybody's on their phone. Yeah, my man, take a look at a picture from the 80s. Everybody's looking at the newspaper or a book or whatever. Everyone had their, their focus somewhere.
Yeah, but the thing is, on your phone, you can look at porn.
Yeah,
that's true. People weren't sitting there with fucking Swank magazine on the subway back in 1984 going, "Fire, look at the tits on that."
That's one thing I miss. That's one thing I miss about commutes like that is you could look at stuff, do stuff. You know what I mean? Like, while you're getting to your destination.
Yeah, it was actually quite. I found it quite relaxing yesterday. It was, if I had to do it every day, I'd probably hate it.
No, I can't.
But it was an interesting cultural experience yesterday because I hadn't done it in so long.
But my hatred for people outweighs.
I can't, guys. Honestly, I don't know how bad it's gotten over the years. Maybe I've gotten used to just not being around people as much as I was back when I was working in politics. It feels like I just don't want to be in large crowds. We were talking about last week. We went downtown. I don't know if I told you this story. We went downtown on Friday, Grand Prix weekend on the Friday night. We met some friends.
You went downtown the Friday night of Grand Prix weekend? What, are you crazy?
I haven't been to the Grand Prix weekend. I think probably the first year when we were married, like in 2012.
Sorry, I cut you off. You were telling your story.
2013. No, but it's still attached to it. I mean, I haven't gone since then. And we went with the kids, and our friend's son follows the Grand Prix. He's like 11 or 12 or whatever.
He's into F1.
So he follows. He's into Red Bull or whatever. I don't know who he follows. And they wanted to show him, the experience of the Grand Prix thing. So we were downtown anyway because we were preparing the condo. So we messaged them, you guys want to stop by downtown, whatever. They're like, actually, we're here. We're like, okay, cool, let's meet up. So we're walking. I don't know what the fuck came over us, and we went on Crescent.
Oh, well, that's part of the experience. If you're gonna experience Grand Prix weekend in Montreal, you go to Crescent Street.
You got to do it. But I instantly felt like murdering people.
Why? Because it was so crowded?
So crowded, and I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, it's the traffic that gets me. I don't mind walking in a big crowd of people, but the Grand Prix weekend traffic, any weekend traffic in Montreal, but Grand Prix weekend.
I don't know if it was accentuated because the kids were there, and there was this protective sense. Like,
did they enjoy it?
Yeah. But there was a point while we're walking on Crescent where my older one started panicking. She was like, bye-bye, there's too many people. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I can't.
I think what happens is as you're younger, you're part of the problem. You're an inconsiderate little jerk like I was. And you don't realize this. And, public transit is like, whatever, I'll take the bus, whatever. But then as you get older, you kind of get... Like in public, I'm 6'2", I'm loud and everything, but I try to be as considerate as possible to the next person next to me. I try not to get in the way.
But there's a limit, dude. When the bus is fucking stacked inside and you can't breathe and you can't move, what are you gonna do?
But what I mean is, it's not just that. What I mean is, I try to not get in the way of people. I try not to litter. I try to be as respectable of a human being that I can be. And when I see people, grown adults, behaving lesser than what my standard is, I find that completely unacceptable because my standard is low to begin with. And if you're below that, there's a problem. There's a big problem.
Yeah.
I talk to people. I talk to strangers. Like I literally did that with the woman on the subway yesterday on the metro. I literally said to her, what are you, some kind of a weirdo with your book? And it made her laugh. Like other people might have reacted differently. Like, what are you talking to me for? You fucking weird old dude.
That's nice of you. I tend to scare people.
I like to do that. My son Sam calls it shovel time. Because there was a tweet, somebody had a tweet about going into the hardware store with their dad. And as they were going in, a woman was coming out with a shovel. And her dad, like a complete stranger, and her dad looked at the woman and went, uh-oh, shovel time. What? Sam said, that's something you would do, Dad.
Yeah. Shovel time.
Yeah. So when I tell him the story about the woman on the metro, I will preface it by saying I shovel timed a lady on the metro yesterday.
Look, the truth is that it's convenient. We have a very well-developed public transit in Montreal. Maybe not all of the island, like the West Island is getting screwed big time, but it's coming along. I mean, you're going to have the REM soon, so that's going to help out a lot. For me, it's not that. For me, it's just being next to people. I can't be with that many fucking people. They annoy me.
Yeah, it was interesting yesterday on that bus that I took that went from Pointe Claire to Du Collège Metro. When I got on in Pointe Claire, the bus was empty.
Yeah.
It came from Fairview. Fairview is the start point, and I'm like 5 minutes from Fairview. It was empty when I got on, but then it goes through. It takes this long route through the industrial bowels of Pointe Claire, Dorval, and Saint Laurent. And it was at quitting time, right? It was about between 4 and 5.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So people are getting off work at all these industrial companies in that area around the airport. And so by the time we got to Du Collège Metro, it was packed, packed. And I thought, when I first got on and there was nobody on it, I thought, oh, this is going to be great. But then I was pretty crammed in by the end of it.
And how'd you feel?
I was fine.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
No, I had my phone and I was listening to music and it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it was one day and the first time in 35 years. So it was like, going to La Ronde.
Yeah. Exciting.
I'm going on the bus ride.
Speaking of Grand Prix, and we spoke about this with Poseidon, but I want to get your 2 cents on this as well. What a fuck up. What a fuck up last weekend was.
Yeah.
Or the weekend before, rather.
It's a shame because I haven't watched the race in a long time, but I did watch it this year and it was fantastic. It was actually the rain that made it very exciting.
Yeah.
The rain ruined the experience for a lot of people.
But every year it feels like it rains. Every year on Grand Prix weekend, it rains. Do you remember a race where it was beautiful?
No, I haven't paid attention lately. I haven't paid attention.
Think about that. You'll say almost every Grand Prix weekend, I feel like I remember it always raining.
Yeah, I used to go. When I lived in Toronto, I would come into town with my friends and we would go. When I first moved to Montreal, I went several years in a row. And then I guess I got a little older and a little less like you, a little less patient with the big crowds and stuff. And it was like, okay, I've done this.
Yeah.
I've done this and now I'm done. But I was lucky the times that I went, the weather was always good. And you know what lost me? What turned me off Grand Prix? When they switched from the V8 supercharged engines to the V6 turbocharged engines, and it changed the exhaust note, and it was no longer that screaming me, me. It was more like a high-powered, they sound now like a riding mower. Gay, gay, gay. I'm gonna send you just as an example, Poseidon. I'm gonna send you from the Australian Grand Prix the year they changed the exhaust note, and you'll see the difference. And because to me that was always such a big part of it. When you came up from the metro and you heard the scream of the. Like that would just, it would send chills up my spine. And the new engines are like, they don't have that kind of sound.
I think it's still like the real fans, they still find it exciting. It's
it was still exciting. It was an exciting race, but to be there in person.
I found one.
Yeah?
Check this out. Yeah, I already found one.
Oh yeah, there it is. Why do I feel like we've seen this already?
It's quite possible.
We may have had this discussion before, and I may have brought this up.
True ready, true poppies.
Yeah, go.
Chase. There's a V8. Oh, yeah. See, that's the sound.
I hear that sound, my balls get very ticklish.
Yeah, and here's the old V10. This is a screamer as well.
And you're saying that they're now down to V6 turbo?
Yeah. And they're still very powerful engines, but the noise it's not this noise anymore.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. The V12. Oh yeah. Oh
are supercharged engines, and they have that scream to them. Do they have the V6 on this?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. See, it's not the same.
It almost sounds clumsy.
Yeah.
It almost sounds clumsy. Hold on, I'm going to make you guys hear something very special. There is what is argued the best exhaust node in any car to ever exist.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So this is the Lexus LFA.
Gave it the power of a supercar.
I don't want this. Hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry. Uno momento, per favor.
See?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this one's good. Spitfire.
Yeah.
This one's the most replayed part, so it's probably gonna take off here. Oh yeah. This and the Quattroporte.
This really doesn't impress. I don't know if it's because I'm not a car guy, but
no, that's because you're what we call nowadays homosexual. So this because Lexus, a small history. Sorry, I'm interrupting here. I'm really big into cars and stuff. Lexus was people were hating on Lexus because they were just making cars for peepaws, you know.
Cars for what?
Peepaws. Like grandpas.
Yeah, Mimas and Peepaws.
Yeah, there you go. So grandpas and grandmas, and they got fed up, and they made the Lexus LFA, which has been voted, I think, one of, or if not the best exhaust node to ever exist. This and the Maserati Quattroporte and the BMW M5 V10 with titanium.
So what would that car compete with? Would that compete with what's the Audi, the
R8?
Yeah.
That has a great exhaust note as well. Yeah, it's the same vehicle. Just actually, it's
the R8 is the low slung 2-seater supercar.
The race car.
Yeah, they're actually completely different cars because the R8 is a mid-engine sports car, and the LFA is a front-engine sports car.
Okay. How much?
Sorry?
How much would it cost?
The LFA?
Yeah.
Ooh, because now it's a collectible, and the thing is, it wasn't that popular when it. Sorry.
Do they still make them?
No.
How old is it?
Hold on. When did they make Lexus LFA? I think 2012.
Okay.
Oh, already discontinued? Yeah.
Yeah, because what happened was, 2010. Just 2010.
Yeah.
That's
rear wheel.
Rear wheel. Of course.
And how many horsepower?
Hold on. Lexus LFA stats.
And stick or paddles or both? No, it wouldn't be both. I still like a stick.
You have a 6-speed, or you have the automatic with the paddle shift.
Okay, so 6-speed stick.
Yeah.
Fuck, that'd be fun.
Oh no, it's 6-speed ASG. I think it's a dual clutch transmission.
Yeah.
552 horses. This is 2010 we're talking about, right? 552 horsepower. I think 0 to 60 was. Hold on, let's see. I'm trying to find the. Sorry, gentlemen.
You can get stock vehicles now, and Dodge comes immediately to mind. I think there's a Charger, and there's also
there's the RTs, the SRTs.
What's the is it Nighthawk? Is that the SUV? That's
3.6 seconds, by the way. 0 to 100 kilometers in 3.6 seconds. This is 2010, by the way. Which was this was hypercar numbers at the time.
Yeah, at the time. Yeah, but now I was going to say you can get factory manufactured like vehicles out of the factory at the dealer with 700 or 800 horsepower.
Yeah.
Which is like a NASCAR
It's
engine.
fucking ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. They're crazy powerful. There's the Scat Packs, the Hellcats, the Dodge Demon, which I think does a quarter mile right under 10 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. They're insane cars nowadays. It's gotten.
But what's the point of buying that? Because you can't. It would be against the law to use it to its full
You have to
potential.
be a supercar enthusiast. I never was that, and that's
be
why.
honest.
I mean,
People that buy these cars, they don't respect the law.
well, you can take him to the track. No, I have a friend who races his car.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't race,
Yeah,
but he takes it to the
personally-
track.
Well, we have Mirabelle iCar we have here.
Yeah.
Can you take your car up there anytime you want?
Of course, anytime you want.
Really?
Personally, if I had a car like that, I
Yeah.
would be taking it at least once a week.
Oh, for sure.
If I
My
had
friend
car
has
like that.
But do you have to make an appointment?
Yeah. You get there. I think you sign up. My friend,
there's memberships, and you can show up whenever.
my friend had a while back. My friend came to pick me up. He has a BMW M Coupe.
What year?
I don't know. Fuck what year it is.
M4, M3, because M3 is old.
No, it's the M Coupe. It's like a little.
Yeah, it's the M3 or the M4.
I don't know. And he would take it to the track. And
M2, it's small, eh?
yeah,
It's very little.
Yeah.
M2.
And
What does his husband drive?
he's not married. So yeah, so he came to pick me up, and I see the number on his windshield. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? He goes, I just came back from the track. I'm like, what are you, stupid fuck? Like, we're fucking 35 years old. Like, it was a while back. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
If I had a car like that, any chance I'd get, I'd be there. I'd drive it to the track, show up. I would do laps for fun. I would have a blast.
I think you can go out to Napierville too if you just want to go in a straight line.
That's where they would go.
See,
No,
what
they
you can
have
get it up
everything
to.
at Maribel. They have everything. They have drag.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you can also. I know a guy in Ganawage who's got some really nice cars, and I think him and his buddies go out to Napierville, I think, and they just drag like they just go in a straight line.
It's just one straight line.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's a drag. I've never been there, but my understanding is it's a drag racing track.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And how far is that?
Napierville. These are
right
all
before the
good
border.
questions.
Right before the border.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Like some people, like they want like the billions and they want the mansion. I just want to enjoy life. You know what I mean? I would.
I'd still like billions, though.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you can
I'm not-
enjoy your life. I'll take the billions.
I'm not complaining. I got a lot to be grateful for.
No, but what I meant-
a couple
sorry.
of billion would be nice.
No, what
would.
I'm saying is I would take the billions, but like you know how some people say, yeah, I gotta open this business and then start this and then I gotta take over. Like fuck all that shit, bro. I just like give me the billions and I just want to like do shit like this, like go on tracks with cool cars and like shoot cool guns and like have a good time.
You don't
be
want
at
to come on the
beach.
bus and the metro with me?
Fuck that.
That's amazing right there. That's living your life.
Yeah.
I gotta pee again, guys. Continue talking about cars. I'll be right back. We'll get to the news.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So going back to this, so
Yeah.
there are three legendary cars with that exhaust node. Obviously, Ferrari and Lamborghini have fantastic exhaust nodes. Then there's the Maserati Quattroporte, which has apparently the most orgasmic exhaust node.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been voted by women, I think.
Nice. I just sent you. I sent you a link to the. I think it's the 2013 and then the 2014 Australian Grand Prix, and it's a really good demonstration of the difference.
Where did you send it? Sorry.
I sent it to your Pantelis account. I'm pretty sure.
On Twitter.
No. I emailed it.
Oh.
Yeah. And it really shows or demonstrates the difference between the V8 supercharged exhaust note and the V6 turbocharged exhaust note, and the reason why I lost a lot of interest in F1. These are this is the Australian Grand Prix.
Sorry.
The Australian Grand Prix 1 year apart. So I think 2013 they still had the V8 supercharged. 2014 they went to the V6.
So close between the two, but brilliant racing. And look at that, Massa has resisted his teammate.
So that to me was the F1 experience. Now here's
Wow.
after they changed. Listen to this. Listen to the difference after they changed to V6.
disappointing.
Isn't that like it's not even close to the same?
Yeah. That's disappointing.
Yeah. That's such a great demonstration of the difference in the exhaust note. And I don't understand how, in a sport at that level with that much, that generates that kind of global interest and that much money, how someone didn't say, hey guys. Well, I guess they must have had that conversation, but then they decided it was, for whatever reason, it was worth it, or they had to do it. That's how they lost me as a fan.
It's government regulations.
Yeah,
it's government regulations. That's why Dodge is in hot water now, because government is cracking down on all these big engines because of.
Yeah, but are they? If you can still buy a fucking 800 horsepower Ram Nighthawk at the dealer, are they cracking down?
Well, here's the thing, right? So because the government is cracking down on emissions,
Yeah.
And what some manufacturers are doing is they are what they do is they'll either go one of two ways. They'll either install.
Bless you.
Oh fuck, bro! Oh fuck, there's snots on my arm.
That's fantastic.
What are you gonna do? Here, give him that.
Oh, thank you.
Fucking disgusting human.
Old snot arm.
What are you guys talking about?
Where's he going? No, we were talking about cars. You didn't miss anything.
Okay.
So, Ted, just to go back, I want to explain this to you fast. Because thing is, I know everything car industry. My dream is to be like Jay Leno, by the way.
Yeah.
I want to
have that collection.
I want to have that collection, drive a different car, make videos about it, and then just chill on money. Have coffee and shit and just relax, So what's happening is because the government is cracking down on emissions and all this BS, manufacturers are going one of two ways. You have GM and Ford, which are developing, they're putting a lot of money, billions of dollars into developing V8 engines that are very good on emissions, that don't use up that much gas. And it's possible because the Germans have done it already. They'll have V8 engines that'll go 900 kilometers range on the highway. You know what I mean? They're not as
gas Germans though.
Yeah, they're not as gas guzzly. They're not as gas guzzly as the American counterpart. Or what some manufacturers are doing, they're going hybrids. Toyota is doubling down on hybrids. Or you have Mercedes doing light hybrids now. Or what they did that people got very upset is they took the V8 out of the C63S and now they turned it into a 4-cylinder, but it flopped. There were no sales on that car. So they're going one of two ways. And Dodge decided to develop a Hurricane V6, but now they're competing directly with BMW. Anyways, it's a whole thing that I've been following. Sorry. I'm going into details that nobody cares about or doesn't understand.
But it seems as though the strategy that a lot of manufacturers had to go completely electric is flopping. They're going
100%.
They're abandoning. I know Volvo had announced that by 2025 or 26, all their cars would be electric. They
backtrack.
Yeah, they're backtracking from
every manufacturer, because it's not feasible. It's just not feasible.
Well, do you remember when we had my friend Zach on, the geophysics engineer who ran the oil rigs down in the States, and he was explaining how he concluded his explanation by saying, I'm starting at the end, but he said he had a 1967 Ford F-100 pickup truck that did less damage to the environment in 50 years than your electric car does before it's even traveled a mile.
Yeah.
Because of what goes into the building of an electric car. All the mining and the shipping and the manufacturing causes more pollution than his old fucking banger pickup truck that he drove, that's been around for 50 years.
Yeah.
And because there's less waste. So the more reliable you make something, the more it'll last, the less waste you have. So
and
the
I
less
think
pollution.
The way he explained that to us that day made so much sense to me when I hear about what you just said about car dealers now, car manufacturers now starting to dial back electric car production.
But it's not only that, there's also the government component where
Ford, sorry, I'm cutting you off. Ford, it was costing them $130,000 per electric vehicle, by the way, per electric to produce, and they were selling them way under that. So they're losing money on every single car. And now, they're not as popular, so they have to discount them. So they're losing at least like 70 grand on each car.
Because if you put aside the whole manufacturing component, the government is, and I'm looking at Quebec over here because I think Quebec is still ahead in its class in terms of electricity and having that hydroelectric grid. We're having issues here because the grid is almost at a max. If not, I think it is at the max right now. There's issues. There's the minister, Fitzgibbon, who's in charge of energy. I don't know if he announced it yet or if he's going to be announcing his plan on using the grid more efficiently. So I'm not sure exactly what he's going to propose, but it seems as though we're in troubled waters.
100%.
With our energy production.
I've been saying this to people for years, and people called me an insane person and a dummy. Okay, and now I'm right, bro. Now I'm right. It feels so good to say I told you so to
It's
everyone.
good to be right, eh?
Yeah. By the way, we're just gonna listen to this last exhaust note. Sorry, this is the Ted. This is the most orgasmic exhaust note.
This is the Quattroporte
Yeah, Quattro Porte.
Maserati.
Yeah, put on your headphones, dear sir.
Does it have 4 doors?
I would hope so. With a name
It does.
like that.
It does actually. How'd you guess that?
Yeah. I love the Maserati logo, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it.
Oh,
Yeah, that aggressive.
sounds like a cat. That backfire, eh? Yeah.
That was it. That's the last one we're gonna watch. 'Cause
That's
I'm
very
sure
nice.
viewers are probably a little bit fed up.
Not if they're car people.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Paul Arcand. We've mentioned him a couple times on the show. Last Friday was his last episode on the radio.
The most listened to radio program in Canada.
Yeah.
Not just in Quebec,
No.
but in Canada.
Yeah.
Morning Man at 98.5.
98.5 and
What are the call letters? How do they market themselves? Like what's-
98.5.
Yeah?
Yeah. They use that.
They just use the numbers.
There's no
There's the
letter,
call letters, yeah.
Yeah. It's just the frequency. And it's crazy because last Friday it just happened that the timing was perfect. We had on our podcast a young political analyst, commentator, Jonathan Trudeau. He has his own show in a Quebec radio station, but he does the news slot in the morning at 7 a.m. every morning with Paul Arcand. That's the old slot that Jean Lapierre used to have.
Okay.
So it kind of sets the agenda.
Right.
And back when we were in politics, every fucking morning we had
So it's a discussion that they would have between the two of them, or he would just do the news?
Yeah, it's like what's happening, like
okay.
what's happening today, like what
So
are
it
you-
wasn't
what
a
are you hearing?
newscast, it was a discussion about the news.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
it was like it's a 10-15 minute slot,
Right.
but it's so important because it's like what's urgent, what's going to happen, what's on the radar today, like now, before the quote unquote day starts. What do you have for us?
So to some extent, they're setting the agenda even.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
So back in the day when we were there, that 7 o'clock in the morning, Jean Lapierre was a must.
Yeah.
Every political attaché, every press attaché, they would listen. What the fuck? What is Jean Lapierre going to say? What info does he have? What topic is he going to discuss? And obviously, people that knew Jean Lapierre or that would listen, this guy had fucking eyes and ears everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything would come to him. So he comes on our podcast, Jonathan Trudeau, and he was there. It was that last episode, and they were there. They did a whole little party afterwards for Paul Arcand, and he was explaining to us how emotional it was. A guy like that, of that stature, to it's a page in the history books, I think,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
And
What was it, a 40-year career?
40 years on the radio.
How long at 98.5 as the morning man?
30, I think.
Really?
25 or 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the guy became the voice to listen to, right, on radio. And what I love about him, and we've had this conversation before, every time I see a journalist, every time I read an article or, watch on TV or even listen to on the radio, there's something inside me. It takes fractions of a second, like this reflex I have of trying to determine if tomorrow they would go vote, what party would they choose? What party does this guy support? Because I mean, everybody votes, right? I mean, even if you're a very good journalist and you keep that neutrality, at the end of the day, you're going to go vote because you're a citizen. And I always try to imagine, this guy a separatist, is he a federalist? What is he? Is he conservative? Is he liberal? Whatever, And if I can determine a little bit with what you're saying or with years of following your news, your articles and stuff, if I can kind of pinpoint you in any of these parties, you're not doing your job well, right? Paul Arcand is that guy that you have no fucking clue what he votes.
Really, eh?
You don't. I'm like, what is this guy? This guy has destroyed everyone from all parties. You stand no chance if you go on his show. You would go on his show. All he wanted was answers. And there's this whole article about, these strategists, these political strategists that actually guide companies on how to do public relations and all that stuff. And one article I was reading was explaining an approach that he had with one of their clients that wanted to go to 98.5 on Paul Arcand. And they hired this guy to kind of help them out. And he's like, listen, man, I know it's intimidating because it's Paul Arcand and he's going to fucking destroy you. But if you want not to get destroyed, just answer his fucking questions. That's it. Just answer his questions. If you have anything to hide, just don't do his show. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
He's going to read right through you.
And was he an attack dog, or would he pick you apart just through calm logic?
No. On a number of occasions, he went off the rails.
He did, eh?
Oh, fuck yeah. I can't remember which minister it was. Or I can't remember. So, and it was in French. He goes, là, écoutez, là, on va mettre une pause là sur votre bullshit là. Yeah, he's like, let's pause the bullshit for a second. Yeah, direct. He didn't give a fuck.
Good for him.
And he was saying this because I was listening that whole day, and he's like, you know what? He was explaining how lucky he was in his career that there were never any fucking stumbling blocks, any roadblocks, any speed bumps. Everyone just let him be as long as he did his program. He wasn't disrespectful. He wasn't vile, right? Like he was very professional, but he was very thorough. He knew his shit very well. And if you were going on Paul Arcand, you gotta give him answers. Because he's not one of those. Okay. Well, thank you very much for the information. We'll talk.
Yeah.
It's not like that. That's not Paul Arcand. And he was saying how everyone kind of appreciated that about him and let him be. All right. And while I was listening to that whole segment, that last episode, I kept thinking about you and Terry, and those last days that you guys had, and I kept thinking, this sign off, this kind of format, this template that I saw the last day of Paul Arcand should be copy pasted for every fucking broadcast, quote unquote legend. This is how you should sign off from your career.
Yeah,
exactly like that. It was beautiful. It was his whole slot, and there were jokes. There were people that came on to honor them and to recall stories.
Yeah, Terry got a nice
tribute.
Terry got a nice send off as well. I got Get Out.
Yeah, get the fuck out. But you're not the only one. I mean,
no, for sure. And I'm not. I'm not complaining.
Frank, the same thing.
Yeah.
They've given so much time, and they've gotten you the numbers that they got you. They've given the reason behind your money. Essentially, like the morning show is what drives the program, right?
Well, radio's changing a lot, and it's it's legacy media in general. Legacy radio, TV, and newspapers are all less important than they used to be because this is where everybody is now. Everybody's on their phone, on the internet now. It's a real measure of the two solitudes that when I was in Toronto last week and Paul Arcand was winding down, and I was staying with and hanging out with old colleagues from years ago who are now very high profile A-list journalists at CBC. And I said to them, Paul Arcand's retiring. Who? Paul Arcand?
No, they didn't know.
Yeah, I've heard the name. You could say that to people in English Montreal.
Yeah.
Paul Arcand? Yeah, I've heard the name.
Yeah.
People don't know. It's just that's part of the divide. Like, I didn't listen to Paul Arcand.
Yeah.
Mind you, I was working in the same time slot.
You can't. Yeah.
So I couldn't, but I wouldn't anyway. I should. Be a great way to improve my bad French. But it just, like I say, it's the most listened to radio program in Canada, not just in Quebec, in Canada. He was the biggest radio star in the country.
Yeah.
But
think about that for a second. Just
most
because of the market you have in Quebec, one
most
province.
of the country didn't know who he was.
No.
But he had the most listened to radio show in the country.
Yeah.
Did he give any indication of what he's going to do? Is he going to continue to work?
No, we know what he's going to do. This was announced, I think, a couple months ago. La Presse managed to hire him.
Right.
La Presse, which is a newspaper that I thought would go bankrupt.
Well, they're only online now, eh? They don't have a hard copy
online,
anymore.
and they were going through so much financial troubles that they had to convert to a non-profit organization to benefit from government subsidies as a non-profit. And I think they probably still have that structure if I'm not wrong. But anyway, there's no more print. Everything is online, and they recently started a podcasting kind of branch.
Right.
And Paul Arcand is going to take over the podcasting thing. So he's still going to be doing his early morning media review kind of thing. I don't know how long it's going to last. Every day?
Monday to Friday?
That
makes me wonder if he got pushed out.
Nah.
If he's going to continue to do what he does.
But I don't think it's going to be a 3-hour program. Maybe they're going to have him on for 45 minutes. An hour, he's going to have more freedom to do what he wants.
Because we had this conversation on the way here this morning. The people who run broadcasting companies today don't give a shit about the content anymore. They care about the share price and the bottom line. And if they look at Paul Arcand's salary and say, can we get someone to do it for half that much? Yeah, but they'll only be half as good. I don't give a fuck. Get them. Get them. Buy him out and get them.
I don't know what slot he's going to have. I don't think he's going to be going on at 5:30. Obviously, it's a podcast, so maybe it's going to be at 8, 9. I don't know what the details are. I just know that he's going into podcasting. It's going to be news related, obviously, like he's known for. It's going to, I think, put La Presse on the map. And in addition to that, he's also going to be writing. So he goes, this is a new challenge for me. I've done TV,
so
I've done video.
For La Presse.
He's going to be writing once a week, I think, on the Saturday issue in La Presse. So he goes, that's a new challenge that's interesting to me. And he's going to be producing a lot of documentaries and that kind of stuff, which he has done before. Very, very well done stuff. So it's a new chapter,
and who's going to replace him at 98.5? Patrick Lagacé?
Patrick Lagacé is going in the morning.
And how do you think he'll do? Because those are big shoes to fill. And quite often what they'll do is they'll find a sacrificial lamb to be sort of the buffer guy.
I don't think Patrick Lagacé is a sacrificial lamb. I think
I don't either. He's a high profile. Right?
Very well-known journalist. He's doing okay in that afternoon slot that he has. He has a 3 to 6 slot, I think.
Well, the reason I bring it up is I thought maybe they'll put someone else in there for a little while and then bring Patrick Lagacé. Because they're trying to fill those big shoes right out of the gate, doesn't matter who you are. That's tough.
It is tough. They're completely different people. Personally, I don't like Patrick Lagacé. I enjoyed reading him.
He's a longtime print journalist, right?
I think he's in La Presse. He's in La Presse. And he still writes. He still has his column. But so I enjoyed reading him, although I never always agreed with him. But it's different when you read 300-400 words and to listen to him for 3 hours. He comes to me, and this is just my opinion. I could be wrong there, but to me, the sense I get is that, I don't know, there's this arrogance that's
not good on the radio.
And maybe it's just me. I don't know, because he has colleagues. He's not by himself, right? He has a whole team. Yeah. Everyone has their own. They bring their own thing to the table. I get this arrogance from him, and I don't know. Maybe it's going to fit better in the morning. I don't know.
Well, if he has a team, I guess it depends on who you surround him with and how those personalities mesh. Like with Terry and I. Terry's such a likable guy, and I'm more crusty and sarcastic than Terry, but the two, like on my own,
it fit.
With the two of us, it fit. You know.
Yeah.
And
it's going to be interesting to see. I don't see the station I mean, anything could happen, right? I mean, we're just speculating here. But one thing's for sure, Patrick Lagacé is probably the best choice they had to fill in that slot. And maybe they know that they need to allow for time to pass for people to get used to this, right?
Yeah.
Because he's completely different from Paul Arcand.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just a character thing, that I don't listen to his slot anymore.
It does take getting used to. Like when I
'Cause I used to love. Sorry to interrupt you. I used to love watching that. His time slot 3 to 6 was Paul Hood that had it before,
Right.
and I'd love listening to Paul Hood. The 3 to 6. Yeah.
likable.
Who?
Paul.
Wow, though he was the best.
Yeah, because his brother is so likable.
Yeah.
Pierre is so likable.
Paul Hood was the best. He was
Yeah.
the best. So I don't know if they forced him out. I think because that happened almost like weird. It was just like from one to the next. He was out and he was doing just on Saturday mornings. I think he had a little slot there they gave him. Maybe it was him that wanted just to fuck off, But Paul Hood was excellent. I love the 3 to 6 o'clock, and maybe I still have that sentiment in me that why the fuck did they bring this idiot? He ruined that fucking time slot that I used to love listening to.
Yeah.
And maybe it's stuck. I don't know. I'm curious to see how that's gonna go. How that's going to go on from now on in the morning. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I think it is a pretty cool moment in history where you have a
for sure.
giant like
In
that
Quebec,
just stepping down.
in Quebec media, absolutely.
I think because the time's running out, we should talk about what's happening in Ottawa with the foreign interference issue. I don't know if you follow that at all.
Yeah, a little bit, as best I can. To some extent, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Nobody
it.
understands it because if you think of it, it doesn't make sense, but at the same time, it also does make sense. So just to bring everyone up to speed, there's there's a committee in Ottawa. It's I'll get you the name exactly there. The National Security and Intelligence Committee of Parliamentarians. So this is a committee that has members from all parties and even senators that are sitting on this committee, and they're looking into, and this is not new, there's been allegations and speculation of foreign countries meddling into Canada, into Canadian affairs. We've spoken about the story of Han Dong, the Liberal MP, who got a lot of help from Chinese nationals. Anyway, and last week or a week and a half ago, there's a report that came out that it's a lot more serious than we think. So this committee basically has information pertaining to several MPs that have been involved in some way, shape, or form in collusion or in some sort of interference with foreign governments. I think mostly we're talking about Russia, China, maybe India. Now, here's the tricky part about this. The MPs and senators that are sitting in that committee have clearance, obviously, to get this information, but they've signed an NDA.
Non-disclosure.
Yeah,
agreement.
so they've signed this agreement where if you have access to this document and all the information on this document, you're forbidden to give any information in public, or else you can go to jail for, I think, up to 14 years. Okay? So you're privy to the information, but you can't repeat it publicly. You can't bring it up. So obviously Justin Trudeau is aware. I think he's read the report, and then the question was: every other leader of the parties in Ottawa going to get clearance for this document? Because once you do, you have nothing else to say. You can't say anything.
Yeah.
So everyone has done it. I think the only one remaining is the Bloc Québécois, who said that he's going to do it. It's just a very lengthy procedure to fill in the application.
I thought Poilievre didn't do it.
And Poilievre, he hasn't done it, and he said that he won't be doing it.
Because it feels like he feels like that would handcuff him.
Exactly. So this is where it gets tricky now, because what do you do with this information? So everyone now, there's a lot of pressure from the media especially to have this information out in the public. But at the same time, whether they like it or not, that's not how justice works. It's not because their name has gone into a report that automatically they're guilty of anything, right? I mean, there has to be some sort of legal procedure that through which they can either get cleared or charged. I mean, we can't, and I agree with that. We can't, and it's happened. I mean, we're talking about all these people getting canceled in YouTube. We're talking in the car about Kevin Spacey and how finally he's been cleared of every fucking allegation, yet he's still blacklisted,
He's still persona non grata. Yeah.
And it happens with politicians as well. I know because of my personal experience with that whole thing. And once it comes out, and the public fucking tries you, you're done. You're finished.
Yeah.
You're fucked. Your career's done. So I agree that they need to be protected. But now the question mark is, okay, so who takes the lead on this? So the arguments are, okay, well, we're going to hand it over to the RCMP. But the RCMP, they won't be able to proceed with their investigation because they fall under the same category. If they have access to the information, how can they then testify? How can they go to court with information when they can't? Because they've signed the same fucking document clearing them to be privy to this information.
What about CSIS?
CSIS, I think CSIS is who provided the information already. So they're like, look, we did our job. This is our intelligence report. The only thing now that could be done is that there is a committee already by a judge, Justice Hogg, I think her name is. And people think that she's pretty much the only one able to look into this, look at the names and see exactly how we can advance and see if we can convert that.
How to proceed with. Exactly.
So we're stuck. This is like a unique situation where we don't know what the fuck to do, But to go back to Poilievre, he's getting criticized because fuck it, you're a hypocrite. You're not doing it on purpose because you want to attack. And if you look into it, and I've been following this case, and there's a lot of commentators and analysts that have, positions on either side. I think he's doing the right thing.
Well, it sounds to me like what he's doing is smart politically.
Yes, but people are wondering, well, wouldn't you want, as a leader of a political party, would you not want to know if there are members of your own political party, and maybe they're not elected members, maybe they're, I don't know, behind the scenes, I don't know, somewhere, maybe they're not necessarily, it doesn't include necessarily elected members of parliament. Would you not want to have that information so that you can take measures in the next upcoming election to just get rid of them? I mean, how could you have these people sitting in parliament or being, in the decor, of parliament? And it's a good argument. However, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to agree with Tom Mulcair. He came out.
You don't like Tom Mulcair?
I don't.
He's a nice man.
He's very nice. Yeah. I've met him. He's really
You're not on the same page politically.
No, man. Okay. No. And more often than not, the analysis he gives is usually wrong. But on this one, I agree with him. And he came out and said that Poilievre is doing the right thing. And it has nothing to do with political ambition or anything like that. So that made you second
guess yourself? As soon as Tom McClure said something you agree with?
Yeah, I'm like, shit, fuck, maybe I'm wrong now. No, but he's right 100% because he says that forget about the other parties. Okay, we know the Bloc is never going to govern. The Greens are never going to govern. The NDP is never going to govern. So they can do whatever the fuck they want. Pierre Poilievre, he's sitting in the opposition, the official opposition. His objective is to demonstrate to people that he's best fit to govern. That's his goal. And in our parliamentary system, there's a huge responsibility to the opposition parties, especially the main opposition, because they are there to question and to keep government in check. That's his main role.
Hold them to account.
Exactly. It's his main goal. So by having Pierre Poilievre signing off on that document and not being able to hold the government accountable would go against the very essence of his role as the leader of the opposition. So I agree 100% with Tom Mulcair. Yeah. And also there's the argument of, politically, it's to his advantage not to have that information, to just be fucking destroying Trudeau every day in Parliament. So I agree with Mulcair 100%. And if I were Poilievre, I'd probably do the same thing. It's your mandate. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes forward from now until the election, because obviously the Liberals on the other side, they're painting the Conservatives, they're exaggerating, they're taking advantage of this serious case and they're politicizing it. But you fucked up. You've known for years now. This is not new. We've known since the 2019 elections, Trudeau has been warned by CSIS of potential foreign government interference, and they've done nothing about it.
Did you watch the Trudeau interview on CBC News Channel about this the other day?
With Trudeau himself?
Yeah.
With who? With
I can't remember the guy's
Power
name.
Politics or the bald guy?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, there was one. There was one segment, and I was hoping you'd seen it because now that I brought it up, I can't remember what exactly the question the guy asked him was, but Trudeau was like a deer in the headlights.
Oh, I think I saw that clip.
Yeah, just a deer in the headlights.
I think he questioned him because Jagmeet Singh came out and said
Jagmeet
that
Singh
he was very worried.
Yeah. Jagmeet Singh was Jagmeet Singh's position on this whole thing was part of the question. And Trudeau didn't look good in the answer that he gave, or non-answer that he gave.
I can't remember his answer directly, but I remember thinking, well, then you know, like he made it seem as though he knows that there's people in his team that are in the wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah, and he looked like the kid, with a mouth full of candy. Did you eat that candy? No.
It's going to be interesting to me to see what's going to happen. I mean, this is serious.
Yeah.
But there was an analyst, I can't remember who fucking, I'd love to give him credit, and their point was like spot on. If this is happening, obviously we know it's happening because it's serious, right? I mean, we have information. We don't know who it is. We don't know if there is a list. Elizabeth May from the Green Party came out and before Jagmeet Singh saying, stop fucking overreacting. There's no list. There's nobody.
Pour me another drink.
Yeah. Which begs to, like, first of all, how are you even allowed to come out and give that sort of information? Because, you're not giving information, but what you're not giving is also an answer, right? I mean, You're saying that, no, there's nothing wrong with the list. So it's like as if you're saying that, okay, there's, nobody's guilty, or kind of like you're still giving information, although indirectly. So I'm not so sure if they cleared that with their lawyer. Both her and Jagmeet Singh, I think they should have shut their mouths.
Yeah.
Just don't say anything. You fucking sign. You can't say anything. Anyway. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, some analysts were saying, rightfully so, if this is happening, I mean, you're a backbencher, okay? How much pull can you possibly have on any government decision that you decide to collude with other foreign government? Like, how much do you think you can get done? Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're sitting in opposition. You're not even in government. So how much influence do you have over any government decision
do you think
that makes you think, well, fucking yeah, Russian influence, let's go. Oh, China's giving me money.
I was going to say maybe Russia or China's writing them a check.
Yeah, I know, but that comes with, something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not doing it just because they like you. So then again,
well, they'd like to have you in their pocket just in case, maybe.
Maybe they're putting their chips in and hoping that, maybe what if they get called to cabinet, and then we have our guy in.
Yeah.
But in the opposition or fucking in the second, like NDP, why the fuck would you go help some guy in the NDP? What benefit is that going to bring you? I don't know. Like interesting questions, and I'm thinking, they're right because backbenchers have zero control. Zero fucking control. Even if you're thinking strategically, well, you know what, fuck it. Okay, they don't have any pull on government decisions, but they do sit in committees. We'll use them in committee. It's bullshit. The committees are divided so that the party that is, has the majority pretty much gets what they want to get done in committee anyway. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. This is a big fucking mess, and it's all on Trudeau's watch.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
And I don't think that we're going to learn overnight what the truth is if we ever do.
Do you think he's going to run again?
No.
We've been asking this question for the last 3 years. I've been wrong. I thought he was going to resign 2 years ago, and then I'm like, okay, it didn't happen. So maybe, I don't know, maybe in a year from now. That hasn't happened, and now we're going into elections, the latest by October of 2025. So a little over a year.
If he's smart, I don't think he will. I saw a really interesting tweet the other day from Jonathan Kay. Journalist he writes for Quillette.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's Barbara Kay's son.
Yeah,
he's a very smart guy. And he said, everybody thinks it's a foregone conclusion that the Conservatives are going to wipe the floor with the Liberals in the next election. He said, but if Trump wins in the States, that's a 5% bump for the Liberals here because they'll play the Trump's in the States. We don't want that tsunami to sweep over us.
Yeah.
So don't
and
vote
they've
conservative.
already painted Poilievre as the Canadian Trump.
Yeah. So if Trump wins, his theory is if Trump wins in the States, that's a 5-point bump for the Liberals in the polls. If Trudeau resigns, that's a 10-point bump for the Liberals.
So then why don't they kick him out? Fuck.
Well, I don't know. Can they?
I know. Well, look, I know personally that there's a lot of people in this caucus that don't like him.
I'm sure that there is, but
I'm trying to remember
is it their choice or his whether he stays or goes?
It's his choice. But when you have big heavyweights coming and kind of telling you, look, dude, step aside.
Yeah, but he's a narcissist.
I know, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
The information that I'm getting from people that are in the know is that there's big, like heavyweights. We're not talking about elected officials. We're talking about people behind the scenes in the Liberal Party of Canada that have access to, the donors and, the money that have told Justin, fuck off, leave.
Yeah.
And he's still there. So it has affected his fundraising. That's obviously known. It's a fact. So they're struggling with money. Maybe that has to do with that. Nobody's giving money anymore because of him. He's still there. I know that there are elected members. So in his cabinet, in his caucus, there are people that aren't happy. Why are they not coming out expressing it? I don't know. The fact that he still controls
party solidarity, I would assume, is why they're not publicly expressing.
There's also the move that once a cheater, always a cheater. So if you betray your party, then going forward with new leadership,
you're not betraying your party. You're just thinking for the benefit of our party, we need a new leader. And
I agree with you. I agree with you, but how it's seen to other people is so. Let's say they betray their leader now, which is Trudeau. Right, and then a new leader steps in. Now, whoever betrayed Trudeau, that new leader is going to have it out for the people that betrayed Trudeau, because if they betray Trudeau, they can betray the new leader.
I don't know.
Even though they would do it for the party and for the benefit of the party, human psychology does not view it that way.
I don't know. What's fascinating to me is that he doesn't have a small caucus. I mean, they're
I
a
heard
lot.
he does.
I bet, yeah. I heard he likes the big.
I'm surprised I got that in before him.
He beat me to it.
Yeah,
for the first time.
What's fascinating to me is that it's what we just said, that he's managed to control his caucus from coming out publicly against them. Because I know
But wasn't the problem he couldn't control his caucus with that high school student,
the teacher or whatever. Anyway, on that note, guys, we'll let you go. We'll put an end to the episode. Good to have you guys back again,
George.
And we'll be back again fucking next
You like
week.
this, huh?
He's not okay.
No, he's not well.
He's not well.
We've known this for a while, and honestly, I will no longer blame myself. I will blame everyone around me for accepting me.
He's embraced it.
Yeah.
You got to respect.
Congratulations. Head on over to YouTube and subscribe to this page, and then get on over to patreon.com/Pantelis. Get yourself a plan. Get yourself that exclusive content. You can follow Poseidon, Poseidon.com, the Poseidon69. Follow Ted Bird and go listen to Standing By, the Terry and Ted podcast. And if you know or understand French, please head on over to Politiquement Parlant. Subscribe to my page and listen to those episodes. Appreciate you. We'll see you all next week. Take care, guys.
And if you don't sign up for the Patreon, I will continue to send dick pics to you until you subscribe.
Just subscribe.
My mom can vouch for that.
Ciao, guys.